Welcome back, Devils fans, and the Never Say Die New Jersey Devils have officially roped me back in with a decisive 6-2 victory over the Dallas Stars tonight in Dallas. There's a lot to get to on this one. A lot of things happened, and wow, I mean, we looked like a different team tonight. Certain trends continued. The Devils surrendering the first goal for, I don't know, at this point I think it's the 50-some-odd time. I can't keep track anymore, but as we all know, we give up the first goal. That trend continued. We saw some new faces in the lineup. The Devils' debut of goaltender Jakeallen, and wow, I'm still digesting all of this, and I'm officially roped back in. I mean, why not us? We could go on a heater and squeak into the playoffs. It's as crazy as it sounds. I mean, these other teams really just want to give up their spot, and I've been saying that for a couple weeks. With a few more wins in a row, we could really make it interesting down the stretch. But let's just take a look at the scoring. Jakeallen's Devils career got off to less than a spectacular start. At 15 seconds of the first period, on the very first shot he faces a New Jersey Devil, Wyatt Johnston gets in tight and puts it past Allen for possibly the worst goaltending start for a New Jersey Devils career. 15 seconds into the game, and on the very first shot, Johnston gives the Stars a 1-0 lead. And at that point, I thought it was going to be an early night, pounding the bottle, and that it was just going to be another one of those games where we just kind of fell apart. But that was not the case. The Devils fought back at 5:41. Eric Halla, on an amazing single-handed effort, creates a turnover, gets in tight, and puts one in to tie the game at 1. But, of course, the lead was short-lived. At 12:04, Craig Smith, a bad goal by Allen. I believe this is on the third shot of the game. He allows the second goal. Craig Smith from the sharp angle wrists one. Allen, I don't know if he lost it or what happened there, but another bad goal by a Devils goaltender on the season, giving the Stars the 2-1 lead. And at that point, I just thought Allen was going to crumble. Obviously, he's making his first start for a new team. Maybe he was a little nervous. I'm not really sure what went into that, but that was an absolutely abysmal goal to give up. Stars take the 2-1 lead, and at that point, I did think it was going to be the beginning of the end. I just thought we were going to crumble, and it was going to be 4-1 in the next 5 minutes. That was not the case. At 17:14, Tierney from behind the net banks one in off the defenseman's stick, tying the game at 2, and the first ends at 2-2. A pretty wild first period, if I do say so myself. And at that point, I wasn't sure what to make of this game. It seemed very weird, bad goals. Still hoping for the best and hoping Allen would settle down throughout the game, which he obviously did. And we get to the second period at 1:31. Dawson Mercer showing the moves, showing the stick handling, showing the finesse. Takes the pass, does a little dipsy-do, razzle-dazzle, inside tight. Pops one up over the goalie, giving the Devils the 3-2 lead. And only a couple minutes later at 3:52, Timomeier gets one right on the tape and just rips it past the goaltender, giving the Devils the 4-2 lead. And at this point, I'm like, Timo time is out in Dallas? When Timo time comes out in Dallas, or anywhere for that matter, your boy's feeling good. Timo time making his presence felt, giving the Devils the 4-2 lead. And then about a minute and a half later at 5:12, Nosek gets his first career goal as a New Jersey Devil, just throws one on net and kind of handcuff Wedgwood right by him, giving the Devils the 5-2 lead at that point, and that was more than enough. We head to the third period, leading 5-2, and at 14:25, Alexander Holtz busts his slump, puts one past the goalie on a kind of broken, chaotic play in front, giving the Devils the 6-2 lead where the game would end. And games like this you love to see. Jakeallen looked absolutely shaky early on. He settled down and held down the fort. Ended up with 35 saves on 37 shots. Nick DeSimone played a hell of a game. I believe he led everyone in time on ice. Looked really good in the game, and honestly, I think he's better than, or at least tonight, he looked a lot better than many of the defensemen we've seen all season and in the past couple weeks. I would like to see, as I mentioned in previous videos, I would like to see a couple upgrades, or at least one upgrade on the blue line and see someone nasty brought in. But I do think if DeSimone could pan out to be, an everyday NHL player for the Devils, that gives us some options. Whether that's, trying to move Siegenthaler or maybe Marino. I just think we have options. I wouldn't give up on Ball yet. He's still very young, and I do like his size. I would like to see him utilize it a lot more and throw that big body around and start banging people up. And hopefully he could kind of develop into a little bit of a nastier player as his career progresses. And with Ataka as well. I mean, we do have a good amount of defensemen kind of right around that 5, 6, 7, 8th defenseman spots. And it does give us options, and it gives us some flexibility, I believe, with some offseason maneuvers potentially. But great game from DeSimone tonight. Blocked some shots. Was laboring on the bench after he blocked a couple on the same shift. And you love to see it. Great outing for him. I'm sure he's been itching to get into the lineup for quite a while. And he really brought his A game tonight. Really impressed me, and I think he left a mark on the coaching staff for sure. Kid looks like he wants to win. Will lay out and sacrifice the body to do so. I've talked about in other videos how our team not only is soft physically, but I believe block shots is a big part of that as well. And we were last in the league, I believe, as of a week or two ago in block shots. And so that's something I definitely would like to see as an initiative to kind of increase the effort to block some of those shots when possible. But overall, amazing game for the Devils. We've finally got some depth scoring, which we really haven't seen in a while. When you got, Halla gets on the board, Tierney, Mercer, Timo, Nosek, and Holtz. I mean, who would have thought? Who would have thought if going into the game I had told you the Devils were going to score 6 goals tonight, and not one of them would be by Jackhughes, Jesper Bratt, or Nico Hischier? I mean, I would say most people would say, Devils get 6 goals. One of those 3 guys have to be scoring at least once. But no, this is when you get depth scoring, and from places you don't expect, good things happen and you get wins. And so the top 3 guns did not score tonight, and we still put up a 6-piece on the Dallas Stars on the road, and I'm pulled back in. I'm officially roped back in. The teams we're chasing have been laying down and dying. Detroit just lost their 7th game in a row. And, why not us? Why not us? It would be quite the story for this team to go on a run. And I'll tell you this, if we play well enough to get into the playoffs, we would be entering the playoffs on, a crazy run, and we'd have to be riding pretty high and feeling pretty good. For us to get into the playoffs at this juncture, while still unlikely, we would be playing some amazing hockey down the stretch to get in, and I don't think any team would want to see us at that point once we kind of have some of these issues figured out. But let's take a look at the game stats. Shots on goal, Devils dominated in this department. 20 shots for the Devils, 37 for the Stars. Again, a rare face-off percentage loss for the Devils with 42.9 to 57.1 for the Stars. Devils did not get a power play. Stars were 0 for 3 on the power play. Devils with 21 hits to the Stars 28. Devils with 24 block shots. My God, I'd love to see it. And 21 hits. I couldn't tell you the last time I recall seeing either one of those stats anywhere near that high. We were in single digits in hits for a string of games in a row last week. But tonight we come with 21 hits. They had 28 hits. Good for them. 24 block shots, the Devils to the 7 for the Stars. Devils with 2 giveaways, the Stars with 7. And both Devils and Stars with 9 takeaways. And wow. 6-2 win in Big D. We look at the 3 stars of the game. The 3rd star, number 28, Timomeier with a goal and an assist. The 2nd star, also with a goal and assist, Tierney. And the 1st star of the game in his New Jersey Devils debut, between the pipes, number 34, Jakeallen, facing 37, stopping 35 of them. And it's, I went through different phases of grieving and mourning in the past couple weeks. And with all these other teams we're chasing playing like dog shit and an effort like tonight from the boys, it really just ropes me right back in. And it's such a roller coaster that my heart cannot handle in my advanced age. And we take a look at the standings, and now the Devils, after 66 games played, we have 68 points, and we are 4 points out of the wild card spot, chasing the Islanders, who have 72 points in 65 games played. I believe we still have 2 games against the Islanders down the stretch. And so if somehow we could just keep this up and play consistent hockey, anything's possible, man. It really is. We look at the scores. Islanders lost 4-0 to the Sabres tonight. Wings lost 4-1 to the Coyotes. Penguins got to win. And the Flyers lost to the Leafs. And Lightning won. It's really going to come down. It's really going to come down to the end here. The Flyers may taper off completely. Who knows? But now we are right there. 4 points out. 4 points out of a wild card spot with a lot of division and conference games down the stretch. And we kind of, control your own destiny to an extent. If we could get on a little streak and win these head-to-head matchups against these teams we're chasing, anything's possible. We are obviously running out of time. 16 games left on the season. But it would be an incredible story. It really would be an incredible story. The boys really, really played well tonight. They really did. And when we looking ahead, we play the Coyotes on Saturday, a very winnable game. And then Sunday we have the Golden Knights away, and then we return home to play the Penguins, Jets, and Senators. And that 3-game homestand really could be the upswing or the downswing in this crazy playoff pursuit that we're a part of now. It really would be something, but again, just to not to beat a dead horse, but now we've seen these past couple games where Kakkonen played a pretty decent game and looked solid in the net. Jakeallen, while he looked very shaky early on, he had an amazing game tonight. And it just sucks that we just could not get some sort of average NHL goalie from a month or two ago. 2 months ago, we're definitely in the playoffs. And if we got him even in early February, if we brought someone in, I do believe we are firmly in a playoff position. We just lost so many games because of poor goaltending. And it's unfortunate. Fitzgerald claimed he tried. And Jakeallen wouldn't waive his no-trade clause originally because he didn't want to come here because he thought he was worried about playing time or something. And that's kind of a weird excuse, too. I've been seeing these quotes going around the past couple of days. And just to touch on that for a minute, if we're trading for you, in what world did you think we were trading for you to not play games? Like, clearly, if you'd paid attention to anything going on in the season, you knew our goaltending was league worst and that you would have to be an improvement. And even if you didn't understand that, I would have to imagine that it's perfectly logical that message would get translated to him through his GM that, hey, I talked to Fitz, and they're not getting you to stash you on the bench. They're getting you to play. So it's kind of a weird thing to me that people were like, oh, he tried to get him and Jakeallen didn't want to come because he wasn't sure if he was going to play. Super weird kind of after-the-fact story coming out about us trying to pursue him a couple months ago. I think it's super weird. If we're trying to trade for you, it's obvious we wanted you to play. But that's neither here nor there. He's here now, and he played a great game tonight. After a really, really scary start, he settled in. Got the job done, 35 saves on 37 shots, and Jakeallen with the first star of the game in his Devils debut. What an outing. And now we just got to put together a winning streak. We have to go into Arizona and just smack the Coyotes on Saturday and hopefully be able to go into Vegas and take 2 points there as well. If we could win these next 2 games, things are going to be so interesting. Things are going to be so interesting for this Devils club. And it's a wild ride. The wild ride continues. The cardiac kids that have brought us on so many highs and lows throughout the season, nail-biter games, and we're now in a crazy playoff pursuit where all the teams that are kind of bunched up in the standings have just completely fell apart. Like, they're just, come take the spot. We don't want to make the playoffs. You come take our spot. It also makes it a little unfortunate that we were sellers at the deadline, but again, that whole Toffoli situation is very bizarre. It'll be very interesting to see him return to New Jersey so quickly after being traded. He's returning as a member of the Jets next Thursday, March 21st, at the Rock. He'll probably score a hat trick. But all in all, great road win for this New Jersey Devils club. Very exciting depth scoring. We saw some good goaltending. We saw some decent defense at times. We saw DeSimone eating shots like an animal. Oh, also shout out to I would be negligent in my duties if I did not mention, for all the people piling on, Curtis McDermott, baby, with an assist, finishing a +1 and 2 penalty minutes to go with it on the evening, just getting warmed up. Curtis McDermott with his first point as a Devil. He's had several penalties, but that was his first point. And hopefully he's just getting ready for the matchup. That next matchup in Madison Square Garden on April 3rd. I could only hope that Matt Rempe is in the lineup and that he decides to be a respectable hockey player, honor the code, and meet Mr. McDermott for a one-on-one bout of the fisticuffs. The toughest man in the National. Let me know what you guys thought about the game in the comments. Let me know what you thought about Jake Allen's debut. What did you think about DeSimone? What do you think about this all of a sudden abundance of depth scoring? Anything else Devils hockey? Throw it out there in the comments. Love talking to you all. I got a little bit of an adrenaline rush after tonight. I haven't felt like this in a few weeks. Even though we're still, on the outside looking in, my hope has been revived. Once again, I've been pulled in by this club. A combination of them winning and other teams sucking. But either way, the pursuit continues. The 23-24 New Jersey Devils. Talk to you all in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. Until next time, friends, let's go Devils.